Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Thing. It is Wednesday, and we have a lot of subjects to talk about today. So Matt Argyle? Sure. Matt Vaughn has got Argyle coming out, and he was doing interviews, and he said that Deadpool 3 is going to change the whole MCU. Why did he say that? Well, you'll find out. Saturday Night Live, they're doing an origin story. I love that. And they've cast some people already. We'll talk about who got cast as Aykroyd, Chevy, and a little bit more. Kevin Conroy, the late, great legend. Apparently, he did some more lines for Batman before his passing. So we'll talk about that. Asajj Ventriss, somehow, she returned. We're going to find out exactly why, how, does it make sense. She's going to be in the Bad Batch, and we'll see if I like it. I don't know. Supergirl, though, that's the thing we're going to be talking about. Milly Alcock from Game of Thrones, she got cast as Supergirl. It was down to her and a few others. She won. She got the role. James Gunn was raving about her. And then Dune 2, right around the corner. Apparently Dune 3 is getting fast-tracked, and it makes sense to me. I'm excited for it. If you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here before, hit that button, man. Subscribe. We're almost at 123,000. We're trying to get to 200 fast, but we need you guys to help. So make sure you do that. Like, comment, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. But it is The Big Thing. It's me. It's Mike and Steph. They're all here. Everybody's here. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is The Big Thing. It is Wednesday. The crew is back. Steph Sabra.
Hello.
You're looking like a trance DJ. I like it.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of xenon.
I like it. I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
And then you got Mike Kalinowski. Mike, did you ever?
Yeah, what's up?
Did you ever play top 10 in when you guys had a team? I know you played
Who was on that team?
Nost and Roca.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, they were broken up already. I asked that because I saw Argyle last night, and Sam Rockwell just reminds me of Nost so much.
Oh, God, yeah.
So much. I mean, not even
I
just,
like Matt Nost.
Yeah, me too.
I was always in the room with him whenever they were playing. I like that kid.
He's a good guy. He's funny as hell, but he's got the same freaking personality. And I watched it with Snyder.
Yeah.
And I said to Snyder at one point, I was like, this is like quintessential Nost. Like if Nost was in a Matthew Vaughn movie, it would be this movie.
Okay.
So yeah, I saw that movie last night. I put my review on it. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's like, so I think some people are going to really enjoy it. It's a little too crazy for me, and I like some crazy movies, but I should say that's not why I dislike it or didn't love it. It's because I just felt, and I said this many times over, I just felt like the tone never really got where I wanted it to get.
Oh.
It was like I was rooting for it to get to that special kind of spark, and it never hit it. And it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. It's too long.
Oh, yeah.
Crap.
It's too long.
Yikes.
It's too long.
Is Dua Lipa a big role?
Ooh,
She's
in
not.
it?
She's not a big role, but she's one of my positives in the movie.
Okay. I couldn't tell if this was going to be her big acting debut.
I don't know if it's necessarily a big acting debut, but I can say she delivers in what she's asked to
Okay.
do.
I'm always the old guy out, I guess. And like
Yeah.
Dua Lipa,
Dua Lipa?
Dua Lipa.
Doopy.
I was like, I didn't know
Dupes?
who she is and whatnot, but then I
Oh.
would see her and
Yeah.
I'd become mesmerized.
Right.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Mesmerized.
So let me
and
tell
all
ya.
she does is like a jiggle and she
Right.
sings in this. And I'm like,
She's also
Yes.
very, very.
Jesus.
But she's also very. She doesn't like. I went to the Critics' Choice Awards, and I people watch, and I see certain people talking to, whether it's people in their circle, their peers, or just the critics who are walking around. She was one of the most welcoming people out of everybody.
Oh.
Massive star, talking to kids, bringing people out like nothing. I saw other people, won't mention their names, just couldn't be bothered. Right? Turds is what we can call them.
Yeah.
I can't stand that crap.
Little shirts.
Turds. But
Come on.
But not her.
Not her.
No,
That's
not her.
great.
She was. I mean, you. If I didn't know because she's so stunning.
Yeah.
B, such a massive star. I'd be like, oh, who's that person just talking to
Right.
everybody?
She's a superstar.
Superstar, and
But
she's talking to everybody.
I know this is, who knows if this is it, but she is one of the stars that stays very close with her family.
I guarantee
Yeah.
you that's it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that's
Grounded.
it because
Yeah.
you know who I bring up every time someone says that is Xolo Maridueña, Blue Beetle.
Oh, yeah,
himself.
yes.
His mom
I
is
love
basically
him.
like, I don't care how big you get,
Yeah.
you're still mowing the lawn.
Right.
Right. And since he was 17 when I first met him. So, and that absolutely has a big deal, so that
Totally.
doesn't surprise me
Okay.
at all that you said that. But she is really good in the movie. She really.
I didn't even know she was in the movie.
She's not in it very long, but when she is in it,
Yeah.
I so much so I was like, I'd like to see her in a Bond movie. Like I think she'd be great.
She
in a
was
Bond
definitely giving those vibes.
movie. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, I think that the movie's going to be a mixed bag. I think some people are going to love it. I think some people are going to feel like I did.
I read 2 reviews back to back last night.
They're very different.
Roca
Yeah.
wasn't for him. This and that, and then the next one was like, oh my god, this, and like the points that Roca couldn't stand, this guy loved.
Who
He's
was
like,
it? Do you remember?
Scott Menzel?
Oh,
No, or Mendelsohn.
No, not him.
Oh, it was Menzel.
Menzel.
Okay.
And he was just like, Bryce Dallas Howard's chemistry is fantastic. And Roca was like, she's a wet fart.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not quoting him on that.
I know
one,
you
but-
said I'm not. I know Menzel well, and I like Scott, but I'm
do
usually
too.
I'm usually not on the same page as him.
I
for
usually am on
movies.
the page with him.
Yeah.
That's why I like
Okay.
following. I mean,
Okay.
we just, his tastes kind of run to what I like.
Okay. So anyway, movie's out now. Judge for yourself, or it's going to be out on Friday. So judge for yourself. We got a lot of other things, but before we do, I was excited. The other day was like Christmas, and both Steph and Mike just saw these today. So Wicked Art, who you guys have seen, we've done the intro to Capes and Cowls, and when we do Sith Council, but this is the Capes and Cowls comic book. Let me see if I can pull it all the way back here. And I'm going to show a little bit more of it. But Steph, you can show that one that you've got.
one?
Yeah. Like
it is so cool.
Yeah, isn't it? It's amazing. Capes and Cowls. And then
Big balls.
Big Balls is there too.
Look at those things.
Let me see. Hold
Wait, here I
see
am.
this
Here
thing?
I am. Here
Yeah,
I
Steph,
am.
that's you, baby. Look at you. Where's the one me and you? Come on, where's me and you?
Okay, wait, let me find the big
Holy-
balls.
Don't steal my voice.
Wait a second. This is my character.
Where you at?
Look at this badass shot.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this thing. Action. You talk about action pose.
Look at this thing. That's what they said to
You
me
shut
last
your
week in
mouth.
Miami.
Look at that thing. That's some wall art right there, baby.
It's really good.
Look at that thing.
It's really good.
Is that you?
That's me.
Oh, that's really cool.
So all of these, by the way, you can. I'm going to put the link. You can actually purchase the hard copies for them. But all
Oh, I
the
would like a
new
hard
issues come in to Patreon when they're released. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like a full on read through, and I'm gonna play on Capes and Cowls. I'm gonna play the music over it, and we're gonna do everybody's voices. I mean, there's everybody from the crew is in on it. PLD even makes an appearance, which is amazing.
PLD.
So you can check it out. I'll put the link in the description to get the Capes and Cowls comic book. All issues are there.
This is so cool.
It's really great.
I am so cool in here.
You are one of the best characters.
Holy shite.
Yeah, I think Wicked Art's a fan.
Who
so-
isn't? Who isn't?
True.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Love it.
go and check it out. You can get it. It's links in the description. All right, let's move to the first story of the days on end. Mike,
Yeah.
Milly Alcock.
Yep.
She is
Supergirl.
cast as Supergirl. It was down to her and a few other peeps, but I thought it was going to be the girl from Zombies because I figured they'd want to try to get away from someone who's a
iZombie?
little bit more.
That girl?
Not iZombie. There's I forget the girl's name, but so she was. My kids watched this Disney movie called Zombies, and she was like the lead in that. And I asked the little one yesterday. I said, hey Maisie, what's the main character's name in Zombies? And she goes, Addison, and I go Madison. She goes, Addison, and I go, oh, Addison. So she played Addison, I guess, but I thought that she was going to get it because minus me from knowing from my kids, she's kind of unknown, as where Milly Alcock was Game of Thrones or House of Dragons. But from what James Gunn says, this read was just next level, and that she was really, really phenomenal. So here's the story itself. New Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. The details revealed as Milly Alcock prepares to play a more edgy Girl of Steel, and that's why she was cast. No, for real. It was because I thought if they were going to go for the more wholesome one, then she wouldn't have been
Right.
cast. But it's kind of playing on brand here.
More James Gunny.
Yeah, which I don't know if I love, and we'll talk about that in a second. But we'll talk about it in a second. Some new details on the close contest between both Milly Alcock and Meg Donnelly to land the role of Supergirl have come to light as James Gunn looks to introduce a more edgy take on the hero. The news broke earlier this week that Milly Alcock has landed the role of the DCU's new take on Supergirl after emerging as a top contender alongside Meg Donnelly. And now we have a few details on James Gunn's casting process, along with a better idea of what to expect from this latest live-action incarnation of the Girl of Steel. According to Variety, Gunn and DC Studios co-CEO Peter Safran flew multiple actors to the Superman Legacy set in Atlanta for screen tests with Alcock and Donnelly, and possibly others, donning the Supergirl suit and boots for their auditions. Though it was said to be a close contest, Alcock won the part and will suit up as a less earnest and more edgy version of the iconic superheroine as Gunn looks to move away from previous depictions of the Girl of Steel, particularly the long-running CBS CW series. Gunn revealed that he actually had Alcock in mind to play Supergirl since seeing her performance in House of Dragon. Milly was the first person I brought up to Peter for this role over a year ago when I only had read the comics. I was watching House of the Dragon. I thought she might have the edge, grace, and authenticity that we need. Variety also mentions this story will follow Kara as she travels across the galaxy to celebrate her 21st birthday with Crypto, the superdog. Is that true?
Yeah, Crypto. That's true. There's a character called Crypto.
I'm not liking what I'm reading here. Along the way,
tough shit.
along the way, she meets a young woman named Ruth and winds up on a murderous quest for revenge. Okay, it's worth noting that this is the premise of Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow comic, so the movie could take a few changes. Actress and playwright Anna Nogueira is currently working on the Woman of Tomorrow script, but the project does not currently have a director, but we should find out who'll be helming the movie in the coming weeks. Gunn and Safran announced the Supergirl reboot during the studio press day in January of last year when Gods and Monsters DCU slate was revealed. Gunn also said, in our series, we see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock, a chip off Krypton, and watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life, and then came to Earth when she was a young girl. She's much more hardcore. She's not exactly the Supergirl we're used to seeing. I don't know. I don't know. Mike, what do you, I'll give my thoughts afterwards. What do you think?
My first thoughts when I heard this casting was, did I miss the fact that there's no director yet? I think it's weird just from a casting standpoint that you're casting a character for a movie that you're not directing. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's Gunn's way of now, like, he's going to cast all the characters. And then to the people brought in, it's like, okay, I cast my guy. This is who you have because I created the world.
Right.
And who knows if it's going to work or not. I'm just used to the old traditional way of the writer and the director are together in the room. And of course, he would be there with his input. But it's like, she's like, it's my choice, you know. But Patty Jenkins inherited Gal Gadot, but they developed an incredible working relationship.
Right. Good point.
Because Snyder was the guy that cast Momoa, Ezra, and all these people, and they all from there. So I don't know. Who knows? But I think it's. But he's saying there's a director's gonna be announced in a few weeks, so clearly they've got it.
So
they know who the directors. I think the ink is drying on the contracts, and they're. I'll bet the director was in the room.
Maybe. I have less. I mean, Milly Alcock is great. She's great. I love House of the Dragon, and she's going to be great. I'm sure the audition was great. And for what this take is, Steph, she's going to nail it. My concern is less about Milly Alcock being cast and more of the initial, I don't want to say hesitation, but definitely like maybe concern that I had when they announced that Gunn was going to be in charge of all this. Is everything going to be edgy now? And it very well might be. But is everything going to be Gunn flavored, or is it just? I guess Superman's got to be Gunn flavored. But
does he though? I mean, he hasn't said Superman's gonna be edgy.
All the characters surrounding him are gonna have the Gunn flavor. And look, Gunn's funny. It'll probably and he's his last couple things that I love the Suicide Squad. I love Peacemaker. I loved what's the other one that he did? Guardians 3. So I loved all those movies. But is it because they said it's not the traditional Supergirl that you've seen? We've seen one Supergirl movie with Helen Slater in 1983. I know he's talking about but that's
she's been Supergirl though for the past
sure for a television audience, but as well as I do, they're different audiences.
But look at how many people are like Ezra for the Flash. Why wasn't Ezra in the movie? And people are like, "Are you kidding me?" But there was a massive fan base that was like, Ezra should have been in this, or
Grant
Gustin should have been in the movie. Gustin should have been the Flash.
They weren't even at. We just had Daniel Panabaker on Katie's show, and she actually talked about how Katie asked her about the Flash, and she was like, they didn't even tell us that they were doing the movie.
Nope.
But let me ask Steph. So does the edginess, does that concern you at all whatsoever? What are your thoughts on Milly Alcock as Supergirl? What do you say?
I happen to love Gunn style, so
I do too.
Yeah, it's so for me. So I'm not opposed to seeing an entire universe that has that. When I see something like Suicide Squad, I'm like, oh, I would watch an entire series based on all of these characters. So it's for me. What concerns me is that movie's not for everyone.
Right.
So it could really, but people are going to be divided either way. But I think that we did kind of see an edgier Supergirl in The Flash. I do think she was edgier.
Yeah, she was definitely edgier.
And I loved her. I would have not. I would have been so for her being cast. But I do love her, Milly. as well.
Me too. And I guess because this is what we said on Capes and Cows the other day. I said if they're going for like a darker, edgier Supergirl, then it's going to be Milly Alcock. But if they're going to go to the traditional kind of old school way, it's going to be
the other girl.
It's going to be the other girl. And clearly they're going for the edgier side of it. The thing that I was like, and you know this better than I do. I've seen Crypto the Superdog in that DC, the Super Pets, which I liked, but it's a good animated film for kids. There's a Superdog in the Supergirl movie to start. Isn't that risky? And she's pissed off, and what is John Wick with the dog, but the dog doesn't die because it's got superpowers. What's happening?
So it's basically the dog from Guardians 3.
Yeah, Cosmo or whatever.
yeah, which I liked.
Yeah,
but
I guess, but
that was earned for the third movie. I think.
Do you start your Supergirl movie with the Superdog?
It's definitely a swing.
Yeah, and they didn't say that they were going to do that. They said it could definitely be. That's just what the comic book had her doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think it's a risk to put a Superdog in there right away, especially when you're doing an edgy Supergirl?
No, it's a comic.
Think it can work? But for mass audiences, not comic book fans.
I know, but he's such behind the 8 ball right now. Him and the DC, what they're dealing, they have to hit these out of the park.
Yeah,
but I think it's his Superman's going to come first, and depending on how that goes. But I think if it's done well, you just go along with it. He doesn't talk. It's not like a talking dog.
He's not okay.
It's just
not. No, it doesn't talk.
He talks in the.
As far as I know, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but as far as I know, the Crypto that I've always read, Superman understands him, but he doesn't talk.
Okay.
Like Captain Marvel's cat.
Yeah, it's like I don't think. Yeah, like I don't think he talks. I'm trying to remember. I don't think Crypto talks.
I don't remember.
It's been a while
since
I've read a comic with him.
No, I mean honestly, I'd heard of Crypto, and I'd seen him in the animated movie, which I really enjoyed.
I understand though if he's going. They're using the word edgy, but because I think his Superman is going to be very earnest. I think it's going to be a old school aw shucks Superman. So the contrast between the two of them, with her being his cousin,
and her pissed off because she's
if they were both like,
rock,
if they were both like, hey, everything's good. It's like no, she's got this kind of edge where he's more like, no, this is how it is on Earth. And
right. Well, Helen Slater was a bit of an edgier too, wasn't she? I mean, I haven't seen it in so damn long. I don't remember.
No, she was kind of there. She was. Her and Reeve were cut from the same cloth, so to speak.
Okay, because I hadn't seen it, and so I'm not sure.
I think.
But what I will say from hearing this though, it does seem to me, because people weren't sure like what's coming out next after Superman, and I do think that this is the right play. If they set up Milly Alcock to show up in Superman, which it seems like they're definitely going to do, and then the next movie after Superman is Supergirl. And
that's great.
It makes a lot of sense. It's like Superman, Supergirl. Now they've both established these two Kryptonians.
That's what I thought when they announced it. I was like, oh, she's in Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
And that's why he's
definitely
casting
Superman,
her.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense that she would then show up in that if she has a really great scene and everybody's like, holy crap, she's great.
So cool.
We need to see a movie with her. Then that's going to build the excitement. He's got to write her a really great scene in Legacy, though.
I just think he's doing everything he needs to win people over because she looks like the comics. Every person he's cast, and again, I know
this is AI or whatever it is, but I mean that.
I was gonna say that
she looks pretty good.
That looks sick.
And I loved Sasha Calle.
Yeah, me too.
I loved her in the Flash. I loved her in the Flash, but a different version of her didn't look like anything we've seen before. But I think every casting he's done is spot on to the comics.
That's cool.
He casts,
and you need to do that because
really well.
It's interesting because he's going into this with the universe with an entire section of fandom that every day is hating him for everything.
Right.
They're blaming him right now for the Suicide Squad game, what they did to certain characters in the game. Like, oh, Gunn came in and it's his mandate. And I was like, oh my God, the hate that this guy's getting. So, he's just going to line it up and make his movie. And you can't complain because they look like the comics.
And that's the other thing that I want to make very clear is that to me, I don't know, edgy. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not attached to it enough to where if it turns out, because like you said, Steph, the style and the thing when he hits, I'm on board.
Right.
So I just do get nervous where I think certain properties call for his humor.
Yeah.
Like I think Peacemaker called for his humor. The Suicide Squad called for it. Guardians called for it. But he can get carried away with his humor sometimes. Like if you look at Guardians 2, he gets carried away with funny jokes, but everybody had a joke. Everybody. And it's like, I don't want to see a bunch of jokes all the damn time with every freaking movie when you don't need to do that. Like Jimmy Olsen will be there to tell jokes, right? They'll have people in Superman to tell jokes. Superman better not be cracking jokes. I'm telling you that right now. We better not. And the same thing with Supergirl. She's going to be edgy, but who knows? He does do edgy well. I don't know.
It goes so far. Like it only goes so far. Like I cannot stand. I do not like. I shouldn't say that. The holiday special.
I love that holiday special. The Guardian special.
No, he took. I felt Mantis and Drax became
goofs.
I'm gonna be nice and just they became like. When did you devolve mentally? To whatever this was. Like you're crashing through a door. Like you've been on Earth for years. You know how doors work. Like it was just joke after joke after joke.
I understand
just was like. But then Guardians 3 comes out, and I'm just like, the sincerity of the characters and everything is just so much better. It's just like, and that came out after, so it's.
I think it really was just a holiday special. You know what I mean?
Get it.
I think it was meant to be just.
Maybe it was just like, hey, we're gonna do this is my Star Wars. We're gonna make it as stupid as possible.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it was.
Wasn't for me.
I didn't like how
I'm an easy audience.
Yeah,
Christmas, I'm an easy audience, but it just did not land for me.
Okay, you didn't like the Kevin Bacon stuff?
No. Oh no.
I loved it.
Nah.
I really loved it.
But Guardians 3...
And I thought it was funny as I went into it with that mentality. I thought I was going to hate it. And I run it really
Guardians 3 my favorite superhero movie of last year.
I think me too.
More than Across?
More than what?
Across the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I like Guardians better.
I've watched Guardians a couple times already. I haven't watched Across
Guardians
again
is
yet.
in my top 5 of the year from
it just
last
hit
year.
it. They
but
just
it just
closed that trilogy so
It was
damn
so
perfect.
good.
It was a little bit more.
Rocket.
It was a little bit more emotional for me. I liked the Spider-Verse movie
love
a lot,
Spider-Verse.
but it's also clearly a part 2.
Yeah,
This
I was
the
just
end.
like, oh, come on, what's going on here?
Right.
I wanted
more. Anyway. So what do you think about Milly Alcock, guys? Do you think this is the good cast? What do you think about the fact that we're going edgy with Supergirl? I want to know. So hit that button. Tell me exactly what you think.
Will she have a British accent in it?
I don't know.
That'd
I don't know.
kind of cool.
Is she from? Is she from?
She has a British accent in House of Dragon, right?
Well, yeah, House of Dragon.
But they rarely hire a non-British person to do British.
It's true.
I've never seen a single episode of any of those Game of Thrones stuff.
It's not for me either.
Yeah. Nah.
And I was a Game of Thrones person. I'm not a House of Dragon.
Oh, you finished the whole thing?
No, I couldn't. You know, I Wikipedia'd it.
Oh, you got to finish it.
I can't. It's
Even
too
Roxy.
devastating.
I mean, all this Game of
It's
Thrones.
too devastating.
All right, I want you guys to stop. So now what I want you guys to do is take a listen because I'm going to tell you both about our good buddies over at AG1. And that's right. Get ready. Blue Chew. All right, guys. Let's talk about AG1. You guys know I love AG1. If you've been listening to my show, you've heard me talk about them, and I've been drinking them for about 2 years now, and I love it. Never been a vitamins guy. I've told you that. I take it all one shot. AG1. I put it in a water bottle. I shake it up. I'm good to go. I recommend AG1 to my friends. I recommend AG1 to my family. Everybody. AG1 is a team of doctors and scientists. It is tested for 950 contaminants and NSF certified for sport. It is formulated based on the latest science and maintains high quality standards. You guys know they've been with us for a while because you guys know too. You've all been checking them out, and everybody who's been signing up to AG1 says the same thing. It's changed your energy. It's changed how you approach things in the day. You're smiling more. You're running around the place, and you're sleeping better. I know. AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why they've been a partner for so long. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and you get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. Check it out. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Come on, let's do it. Let's talk about sex. Hey guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Everybody, you're like, yeah, back in the day, go whenever I wanted to. Well, now you can increase your performance. You can get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew's no joke. It's pretty great. It's a unique online service, and it delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take them whenever, daytime, night. You can plan ahead, be ready whenever that opportunity arises. And the process is super simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you are approved, then you receive your prescription within days. And the best part, all online. No visit to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. So, for me, yes, it works. And the thing is, you know, I didn't think I needed it, but hey, you try it for a month and you see, you love it. You could be missing out on the best sex of your life. I'm telling you. They always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions? Do it. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. They do. Discover your options at bluechew.com. Chew it and do it. Love that. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. You got to try Blue Chew free, but you got to use that promo code BIGTHING at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com. Promo code BIGTHING to receive your first month free. Yeah, do you hear that? Free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we got to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the pod. All right, thank you to our friends over at AG1 and Blue Chew. AG1, you guys know it. I've been talking about them forever. Keep them on the show, guys, by getting yourself some AG1 today. Use that link because they are phenomenal. It helps me out. I've been using them for, it's been like 3 years now. And, of course, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is no joke. I have given Blue Chew to some of our friends here on the show, and they always thank me. And I will be getting thanks from you guys when you check out Blue Chew. You excited? You need some Blue Chew before you get out of here?
Give me some.
Okay.
I'll take it.
All right.
I'm older. Why not?
That has nothing to do with that.
No, it has nothing to do with age. It's not one of those as you get older.
No, it has nothing to do with
It's
that.
just for anyone?
It's just, I'm telling you, your wedding night. Hey, man, I'm telling you, I'll give you some.
Give it to me now. I'll take it home. I'll next week, I'll tell you how it went.
Okay.
Then we won't see Shannon for a little bit.
That's okay.
Shannon will be
You're
so
recovering.
happy.
That's all right.
All right, listen.
Happy girl is a happy home.
Her 3 Fs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've had enough.
That's right.
I've had enough of this.
Know it.
All right, here we go. Here's the next one. Dune 2, baby. The director and the cast tease the plans for the third movie. We're all super enthusiastic about that. Dune Part 2. Director Denis Villeneuve says that, and stars Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya have all shared their thoughts on turning the duology into a trilogy, with all signs pointing to Dune Messiah happening. Filmmaker Denis Villeneuve has made no secret of the fact that he's keen to adapt Dune Messiah, creating a trilogy of Dune movies which fully do author Frank Herbert's ambitious science fiction tale justice on screen. While the first movie suffered at the box office because it was released in theaters and on streaming at the same time, Warner Brothers is clearly confident in the science fiction franchise's longevity, explaining why we're getting both this March's sequel and Max's Dune Sisterhood spin-off series. Talking to Total Film, Villeneuve said that while Dune and Dune Part 2 form a complete story, the latter's heartbreaking conclusion will set the stage for another movie to conclude the trilogy. All the elements are there, he says, but I think the movie adaptation is more tragic than the book. The way that Part 2 ends, it would create a total balance and equilibrium to finish Paul's storyline and what we could say in Part 3. While a third installment is bound to hinge on the success of the second, it sounds like the filmmaker won't have any trouble tempting back his A-list cast. Denis is an artist and doesn't like to share things until he's got it figured out, Zendaya says. So whenever he's ready, we're all keenly ready to hear what the vision is. Chalamet says, the idea excites me very much. If the time and opportunity comes to complete the story with Messiah, I think we're all super enthusiastic about it. Dune, have you seen Part 1?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you've seen Part 1.
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
I love it.
Did you see Part 1 yet?
No.
Done.
Well, it was during the pandemic, came out in the theater, and I wanted to see it in the theaters, and I just didn't get around to
I
it.
should have taken you last week. We went and saw it in the theater
heard.
last week.
I'm curious
Go ahead.
because there's this big swelling for this movie in the
Yes.
sequel,
Yeah.
and the first one didn't do well.
It didn't bomb. It just
No,
it
it
just got hit because they put it in
Right.
day and date.
But you can't really judge, it's like Blade Runner to me. There are these heady, oh God, what's the word I use?
Purists?
No, heady.
Involved?
God, I'm going to.
Cerebral.
Not cerebral. It's getting close.
Yeah.
Oh God, not haughty. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Detailed.
You guys talk. I'll figure it out here.
I know what you're
Jesus
saying. I know what he's trying to
Christ,
say,
I can't
but-
get there.
Yeah, it's complex.
Keep talking, the two of you. I'm going to be up here myself coming up
Okay.
with this word.
All right, Billy. So this movie, I went and saw it in the theater.
Again.
I've never seen
That's it. I got it. Pretentious sci-fi.
It's not pretentious.
That's what I call pretentious sci-fi.
It's not. You haven't even
It's
seen it. That's a stupid.
one of the greatest
But
novels
Blade
of all
Runner,
time.
Dune.
So you don't like Star Wars?
That's not. You can't compare Star Wars and Dune.
Star Wars was based off of Dune.
I wouldn't
Star
say
Wars
pretentious. I think
Star Wars is
complex was
based
the
off
right
Flash
word.
Gordon. Flash Gordon and Dune are two vastly different sci-fi properties.
Dune and Flash Gordon. He was a massive, massive fan of the novel of Dune, and he absolutely based it off.
Of course.
And I'm not saying pretentious
Star
in a
Wars is
bad way.
so
You can
based
see
in
it.
it,
You can
yes.
see it.
I'm not saying pretentious in a bad way.
It's
I
more
just mean
complex.
It's just very haughty, very, it's not. You have to be invested in watching it. It's a
more
thinking man's
so
sci-fi.
cerebral.
You haven't
like I
read
said.
the books?
So, like I said 5 minutes ago, cerebral.
Cerebral, it is.
Yeah.
The books, it takes me a long time to read those books
Yeah.
because they're the world building it's like Tolkien. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's very involved. It's almost like you're reading history.
Totally.
have
It's a
Dune.
whole new world.
Yeah.
Dune and Blade Runner 2049 in my watch list for HBO Max, and they've been there since they've been on the series, and I just don't get to them.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's
really crazy.
I know,
They're awesome. And I went and I did not like the David Lynch movie.
Why not?
It didn't work for me. It wasn't the story. It just was. The story. The way he told the same exact story was just too.
Did you watch
too
the
bizarre.
TV show with James McAvoy?
Didn't even know there was one.
Yeah,
there's a Dune
on
TV
Sci-Fi.
show.
Yeah,
I didn't
Sci-Fi Channel with young James McAvoy.
Didn't even know that.
Didn't know
Totally
that.
believe you, but I wanted to see it because I did see it on my screen when it came out, and then I was like, well, it's coming out in IMAX for a re-release, and I have to see it. So Winston had never seen it, so I took Winston, and the two of us went. And we both loved it. I felt like I was watching it again for the first time.
Right, because it's been a while.
It's 2021 is when it came out. So I loved it, and really they showed a scene from Dune 2, and then they showed like an extended preview for 2
Really?
right afterwards, and it just looks so good. But I'm so glad they're going to continue on and do a third one. I think that the second one is going to crush. So to answer your question, the first movie cost $160 to make.
Okay.
Did for the amount of screens that it was in, and because of the pandemic, when you look at the numbers, did decent, right? But the second movie only cost $120
No way.
because they shot a lot of the second one with
With the
the
first.
one. So very smart in how they did that, and they used their budget. So essentially, both movies are going to cost close to $300 million production budgets.
to one Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Not even.
and then and less and still less. 2 movies still less than the last Fast and Furious movie.
Jeez.
So anyway, they are already breaking the website. People are buying tickets already
Right.
for this one. It comes out March 1st. It's going to be the first real big movie of the year. So I think we're definitely going to see a third one. I'm very excited about the Max series because that's like 1,000 years before.
Totally.
So
Yeah, I love this world so
Yeah.
much. And I feel like somehow Timothy and Zendaya have become bigger stars than they already were.
Right.
And we always talk about this, like who still has star power where you go to the theater. They do. Like the fact that Wonka did numbers is, I think, Timothy Chalamet.
100%. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if I would have 100% agreed with you 2 weeks ago. I would have said that has something to do with it. I think you are absolutely right because I was trying to get my kids to watch Wonka. I have a screener for it. I was trying to get them to watch it during the holidays. So we can all watch it. It'd be a family movie because I had seen it already. And they didn't want to watch it. And my youngest one, I finally said, all right, she just wanted to go to the movies. So I said, you want to go see Wonka in the movie? She's like, great. But my oldest goes, what are you guys going to see? And I said, Wonka. She's like, oh, Timothy Chalamet. And I'll go.
Right.
She's 12.
Yeah.
And she's like, and so that everybody in her school, Timothy Chalamet.
Yes.
And he really is. And when I've come around on that movie even more so.
Yeah.
He is really charming in that film. He is. And
Yeah.
And then you go and you see what he does in Dune.
Right.
Very good in that movie. And Zendaya is also another one who you said star power growing. And she's in that new movie, the
Game Changers or
something like that.
Changers.
It's Changers. I think that's what it's
Yeah.
called. Something like that. It's about the tennis pro.
Yeah.
I just heard that it was anticipated, and then I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, that looks good.
Right.
She
And
looks
I
good.
wouldn't really care about that story if you pitched it to me, but I'm like, I will see her in really anything.
Right.
It's like that whole Euphoria
didn't
cast
watch it, yeah.
just has the power right now.
Yeah, right. So
And Timothy's like the new, and when I was in high school, it was Robert Pattinson because that
yeah.
was the Twilight era. But he has like that Justin Bieber effect for
I know
girls.
what you mean. No,
You know what I mean?
I think
like,
he's got more clout as far as because Pattinson has done something extraordinary, and I'm glad that he did because I remember Winston was on Collider Live, and they were talking about Pattinson as Batman. and I was about on you the whole time. They were talking about Pattinson. They were talking about Pattinson on as Batman, and I remember I had seen him in Rover. I had seen him in these other things. Winston had not. He's like, you can't cast the Twilight guy.
Good times.
And yeah, they can't cast the Twilight guy. I'm like, dude, have you seen him in these movies?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, but he's the Twilight, and the Twilight audience loved him.
Right.
Started really getting the buzz from Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah.
Or My Name, whatever the hell it's called.
Kiss Me If You Know Me.
Perfect. And so he has been in the public. I mean, he did the Greta Gerwig movie, the Little Women.
Right.
He's really starting to show himself more as just than the heartthrob guy. He's a really good actor, and he's funny too. By the way, did you see him in that Saturday Night Live thing?
Yes, he's one of my favorite SNL guests.
He was the one he did with Pete Davidson. It's the best.
It's so great.
Stupid scream that he does. It's so good.
And he's like Tom Holland, where they did that sing along show where they both can dance and sing.
Right.
And it's so charming because you think they're like going to be too cool for school guys, and they're not.
And he really does know how, and what he does with Paul Atreides is great because it's a different. He's able to do this thing where he is everywhere, but you still see him at these characters. I saw him as Paul in Dune. I saw him as Wonka in a different version of Wonka.
You mean he's an actor?
No, there's no.
So
no,
he creates
no
characters.
No. That's a dumb thing coming from you, especially when you've made this point that you've looked on the screen and gone, "That's Leonardo DiCaprio. That's someone I see them. They're a good actor, but I don't see past who they are."
No. I'm giving him a compliment that the actor can lose himself in a role and we don't see the actor anymore.
Right, him.
Yes,
but
I'm saying so.
But
He's good
not
at what he
every
does.
actor can do
No,
that.
of course
Okay,
not.
that's what I
You know
thought
what I
were saying.
think? Doreena's going to kill me.
What? Go ahead.
I think he's our generation's Johnny Depp.
Oh.
I might be that.
It might be too soon, but wait for it. He's on that path.
Maybe.
Where he has range.
Johnny Depp. I think Johnny Depp was cooler though.
But this generation
is cool. I understand what you're saying, but he's not. But yeah,
I know
get
Johnny
it.
It's a
Depp.
different
There
thing
was a
than when we were
different time. That was the
younger.
80s.
I know.
Different
He was
Yeah.
80s cool.
Yeah,
He was
that's a
80s cool. I know.
totally-
You're right.
That's a cool. I agree. We're never
True.
going to get that back. Though.
Not like that.
No.
Not like, no. This
But I'm
is
saying
more.
this
Yeah,
gen-
this is like more skinny jeans.
Yes,
cool.
yes.
Yeah, it's
Like
fine.
could be sick.
Yeah, right. Could be sick. All right. Anyway, so what do you think about Dune 3? Do you think that is something that should happen, could happen, and are you excited about Dune 2? Very excited to hear what you guys think about that. All right, next one. All right, speaking of Saturday Night Live, 1975 cast it's Aykroyd and Chase. I heard they had cast more, but maybe not. Jason Reitman is doing this. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Steph?
No.
Saturday Night Live 1975, which offers a look at the real-life behind-the-scenes events of the opening night of Saturday Night Live, has cast most of its major roles. Who's playing George Carlin? New additions today. No, he was the first
I know.
host. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. New additions today include Dylan O'Brien, who will play Dan Aykroyd, Corey Michael Smith, who plays Chevy Chase, Matt Wood as John Belushi, and Lamorne Morris as Garrett Morris.
Oh, damn.
They join an ever-expanding cast that includes Gabriel LaBelle as Lorne Michaels, Cooper Hoffman as Dick Ebersol, Ella Hunt as Gilda Radner, Kim Matula as Jane Curtin, and Emily Farron as Lorraine Newman. Reitman and Gil Kennan penned the script, which details what happened in the moments leading up to the first broadcast as a troupe of young comedians and writers changed television forever. The script is based on an extensive series of interviews conducted with all the living cast members, writers, and crew. Reitman, Kennan, Jason Blumenfeld, Erica Mills, and Peter Rice are producing. SNL itself is currently in the midst of its 49th season. Filming is expected to get underway shortly. This is one of my most anticipated movies in a very long time. I love the original Saturday Night Live cast. I love the story. You want drama? This movie's going to have it. The bumping of the heads. I just watched a full documentary on it was a Showtime one that they did on Belushi when I think it was coming back from New York. Or I don't remember where I was going, but I watched this thing that they did on Showtime with Belushi, and they had a lot of this stuff in there. And everything Belushi was going through, how they recruited everybody. They're probably not going to do that if this is the first night of the show itself. But to watch everything that goes down and to see how that all builds, they're going to make Chevy Chase just like
The
complete
worst.
dick.
The worst.
You know they're going to make him look like a dick.
Totally.
How pumped? You're a big Saturday Night Live
Massive
person.
Saturday Night Live person, and I'm one of the younger fans who has seen all the originals.
Okay,
too.
great.
Yeah, it's so this
Cheeseburger,
is
cheeseburger.
the best. Two wild and crazy guys.
Yeah.
And Gilda is just one of my top
She's
5
the
ever.
best ever.
She's so great.
Yeah.
And this is so exciting. And when I didn't find out until like a few years ago all of the drama
Yeah.
that they
really?
had. Yeah, because it's just like you see them laughing and perfect on
Right,
set,
right.
and you would have no idea that these aren't best friends.
Yeah, Chevy Chase and Belushi had gotten into fights and all these things. Yeah, it was, and they're probably absolutely Dylan O'Brien and then whoever they cast as
Michael
Belushi.
Smith.
No,
No,
as
Belushi.
Belushi, yeah, because they'll have to have good chemistry, obviously. 'Cause
Yeah.
those guys were like
Besties.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting also because Chevy Chase is one of the only ones who, and Dan Aykroyd is still here with us,
Right.
but I think Chevy Chase is probably fine with everyone knowing.
You mean out of the 4 top there because
Yeah.
Lorraine Newman's still around.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
there's
but
like-
Gilda and
yeah.
Belushi, yeah,
Right,
just the top
sure,
4.
sure.
But he is so known as a dick now that
Yeah.
I'm wondering how concerned he is about how this is going to make him look.
There's enough books out there. He does not. I'm sure.
He's just had to. That ship has sailed.
I'm sure. But do you care about this at all?
I
Well, there
don't-
you go. Got our answer.
Yeah, I guess so. Hey man, I was Saturday Night Live every night, the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Like even as a kid, it was Hans and Franz,
Pump you up.
Church Lady. Like
Yeah.
like
Church
the
Lady.
heyday of it. And then I can't remember the last time I tuned into it. I catch
Right.
now like, hey, so and so, this was a hysterical scene.
But the first night, don't you think it's a
Skit.
good premise for a movie?
I'm just always torn about those early years with those guys, like the reverence for Belushi that everyone has, but then I never found him funny.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
Let me
God.
say why. It was always like we've all got that one friend that we let do stupid shit, and
Right.
around us we're like, that's hysterical.
Perm.
But everyone else comes in and you're like, who's this fucking guy? Like, just showing up and like you hear the stories of them not being professional, like about like showing up on time and stuff. And as a performer,
Well,
for
that
me,
didn't-
a
but-
huge thing is these actors that show up on time.
Sure.
And there are
But that
people,
didn't
they're
happen-
brilliant.
but
They're
that didn't
brilliant
happen until
performers,
later
but they'll
on
show up
down
and
the
they're like,
line.
I don't give a shit. I'll show up whenever.
Well, that wasn't necessarily what happened with Belushi. He started down the line. He was starting to get really like you're talking about like the 80s. Well, he was getting really jacked up on coke and stuff. And when
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happened,
You
was not
ruined your
showing-
legacy, though.
He wasn't. When it was pushing
Chevy
when it was
Chase.
pushing to him to be like the star because
Yeah.
Chevy was gone, all this stuff like that. He definitely got himself into a lot of problems with that. But he was beforehand. He was pretty straight before he started getting into the coke stuff. And
Maybe
he-
that will show in this movie.
Well, he was pretty messed up. I think that by the time they started, but he was on time. Anyway, the point
They'll
is,
have a Steve Martin too, right?
well, Steve Martin wasn't a real cast member though.
no, I
He
know,
was-
but he was just like always.
I don't think he was there for day one. This is
Okay,
the
he
first
wasn't.
night.
You're right.
But they gotta have George Carlin. George Carlin
Yeah,
was the first
that's
host.
great.
Yeah.
So
That'll be
I would-
such a fun little role.
I would love to see someone. It's not an easy role. They're going to do a
No.
George
No,
Carlin biopic, and you got to cast. I mean, that one I'm going to be the most critical out of anything.
I think a lot of people.
Let me ask you guys this: do you think they are going to prosthetic everyone to look like that, or are they just going to go, "We're embodying the spirit of these characters,"
Yeah, they'll
or
do
are they going
that.
to do prosthetics?
Nah,
You don't think so?
Well, nah, I don't.
Because
think
Dylan
so.
O'Brien, and I love Dylan O'Brien, doesn't look anything like.
Well, don't
Dan Aykroyd.
forget Dan Aykroyd was really super skinny.
oh,
and,
I know,
and
no,
tall
I know that,
back
but
then
they look nothing alike.
I think if you put him in that Wild and Crazy Guy's outfit and more, so
I think there's going to be a little prosthetic
think
stuff
so?
going on.
You
A
might-
little
you-
nose, a little
you might be
brow,
right.
a little
I'm
chin,
not
right?
mad about prosthetics.
No, I
I
think
think
it's-
they're so good with makeup now
Yeah.
that
Yes.
it look like you can't tell. I know I'm not saying like the Bradley Cooper decision was right, wrong, whatever. I haven't even seen the movie yet, but I will say I can't even tell that's a fake nose.
I love that.
Yeah.
makeup.
I really can't. The makeup is amazing.
I
I
thought it
just
was
saw
fun,
who
yeah.
Gilda got cast, and I'm sure that they won't really change much, but they'll give her hair.
Yeah.
right.
The really noticeable that's Gilda's thing. That's what they'll do. I
Right.
think.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Are we big Saturday Night fans in general? Do you know about the history? Do you think it's a good choice? I think it could be Oscar stuff, depending
Right.
on how they do it. All right. I want to get to a couple more stories, but before we do, I want to tell you about our friends over at Nutrafol and Magic Spoon. I'm so excited to have Magic Spoon back. So you guys have said it. You said it to me lately. You go, hey, you lost some weight, man. You're looking good. I've been trying. My New Year's resolution was to cut back on sugar, add protein to my diet, and I stay on track with my fitness goals. So I was excited to get Magic Spoon back on the rotation. Makes it easy, and it's more delicious than ever now. Growing up, I love cereal. And not even just growing up. Recently, I've been trying. I've fired down sugary cereal for a snack, but the problem is when you get older, you got to watch out for those empty carbs because they add up. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors that you love, but it's got high protein and it's got less sugar. So for me, I did the protein shakes for a bit, but I wanted a delicious way to get my protein before and after workouts, and it's good for a snack. Variety pack, they have cocoa, they have fruity, they have frosted, they have peanut butter. I mix the peanut butter and the cocoa, personally. This pack has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and about 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. There's only 140 calories per serving. High protein and 0 grams of sugar. It's amazing. So if you go to magicspoon.com/bigthing, you can grab a variety pack and you can try it today. So be sure to use our promo code BIGTHING at checkout to save $5 on your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it, any reason, they're going to refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, start the new year off with a great, delicious bowl of high-protein cereal at magicspoon.com/bigthing and use the code BIGTHING to save $5 off. That's magicspoon.com/bigthing. Hey guys. Did you know that 80% of men will experience hair thinning in their lifetime? It's normal, but it doesn't have to be your fate. Get ahead of it with Nutrafol, which is a clinically tested hair growth supplement for men. I love Nutrafol. Love Nutrafol. If you've been listening to this show, you know that Nutrafol's been with this show for a while because I can speak very highly of them. Why? Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand with over 1 million people seeking thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. Nutrafol's no joke, man. You can take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair because for a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men. But you got to enter that promo code BIGTHING. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and hairstylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Go to Nutrafol.com/men, Nutrafol.com/men, but enter that code BIGTHING. Nutrafol.com/men, promo code BIGTHING. Thank you to our friends over at Nutrafol and Magic Spoon, and I will tell you both Nutrafol, you guys have been getting them. That's why they're back. So that's how it works, by the way. People don't know. It's like, oh, they got sponsors. That's great. I'm just going to fast forward to the ad. Look at them. And if you like them, get them. Why? Because when you get them, they come back. That's how it helps. Not just going, oh, okay, and then clicking through the ad. Listen to it because you might actually get something that you like. Now, not only Nutrafol, you should see Mike's eyes light up when he heard Magic Spoon was in. I've lost 15 pounds.
Let me tell you something.
I won't tell you then. Go ahead.
I love cereal. I love cereal.
Yeah.
This is not, we didn't talk about this beforehand. Like, hey, Mike, say this. I love cereal.
Right.
I'll eat a bowl of Lucky Charms at 2 a.m.
Sure.
I can't be doing that.
No.
You can't be doing that. You can't. And I'm not talking a bowl. I'm talking like a giant glass bowl that you mix cookie batter in. I'm getting a thing of that of Lucky Charms. Then I'm like, oh, I could go for another bowl. And I'll get 2 of those.
It's really bad.
Yeah. But then I found Magic Spoon. I found them like a couple months ago, years ago. Like the protein and everything in that stuff that's good. Like
I might not even run the actual ad. I might just have you do it.
I'm telling you. The Magic Spoon.
Do you know what I do? So,
can you give me some right now?
Can I finish my story? You think?
We're talking about a weight loss journey.
Yeah. So, but I did. So very similar to what Mike was just saying. I lost 15 pounds, but because you get to that point where you're at, it's 8 o'clock at night and you want to snack on something.
Right.
Yeah.
And having a bowl of cereal with all the sugar in it, not good. Not going to help you.
No.
But my friend who was chef was like, you got to just do protein. So Magic Spoon comes in and I mixed the peanut butter and the chocolate. I mix those two together.
Oh, you're an aristocrat, huh?
Yes, I am. And then sometimes you get the sugar. You're very proud of yourself with the wink.
Yeah.
But very proud of yourself, like you just won a Pulitzer. Nice move, Clooney. So either way, this is a really good thing. I love it. I absolutely, it is my go-to thing, and it helps tremendously. Damn. I actually had a friend that reached out yesterday, one of our patrons, and he was like, "Yeah, I just got 2 of them." I said, "Which ones did you get?" I'm so excited.
Blue Chew and Magic Spoon.
No joke.
Damn, dude.
No joke. I got good stuff.
Hook this guy up, man.
I'm telling you.
Come on.
You have great team ups.
I only take people that I think the audience is going to like. So that's why when I tell you guys shut the fuck up. When I tell you guys to get it, it's because it helps the show, and it's because you see the way this lunatic, his eyes, you'll love Magic Spoon.
I just say it. I do a night of Blue Chew, be going to town, and then I get hungry afterwards.
Right.
Sit there with some
That's
Magic
true.
Spoon, a
That's
couple
a good
bowls of
team
that.
up.
Just make
She's
me a
snoring
promise.
in the bed.
Just make me a promise. No video. I just wanted you to talk about it afterwards. I don't want to.
I got a 3-camera setup in that bedroom.
I'm
Come
sure
on now.
you do. Sliver. All right, here we go. So, all right, I got to do this for Mike. The late, great Kevin Conroy. This is a story I'm reading from Dark Horizons. It says Kevin Conroy recorded more Batman lines. There's a lot of anger online regarding the upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League in regards to various things, from the games as a service feel to the way it treats the DC hero characters. The most common complaint seems to be about the portrayal of Batman voiced by the late and great Kevin Conroy, who died in 2022, being disrespectful to the actor's legacy. Part of that anger is because this has been widely assumed to be the final work of Conroy, who began voicing the Batman character back with Batman the Animated Series back in the 90s. Turns out, not the case. IGN reports that according to their source, Conroy has 2 other performances as Batman Bruce Wayne that are on the horizon. One of them will be Bruce Timm's Batman Cape Crusader animated series, originally at Max, but now it's at Prime Video. The outlet confirmed that Conroy did record for the show before his death, but the extent and the nature of the role is unclear. The other is the DC animated film Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3, which is confirmed to have Conroy reprising Bruce Wayne and Batman. The first part of the trilogy was released earlier this month. The other 2 have yet to see dates. The outlet indicates Conroy's publicist declined to comment. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will mark Conroy's final voice performance in the game world. All right, Mike, let me go with you here, man. So
Yeah,
what do you make of this entire story?
Let me tell you something. I tweeted this out the other day. I don't know if you know this. We're at a point, I think, where every fandom is going to turn on the properties that they love. The Arkham games are some of the most beloved games. The Rocksteady they're gods to everyone because of how well they treat the Batman and the lore. This game was announced I think it was announced at like DC Fandom back in 2020. The game is called Justice League or Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. And they're upset. They posted a shot of Batman being killed by the Suicide Squad. That's what the game is. It's the game killing these characters. And then it's like, well, the way he goes out. And then everyone's like, how Rocksteady's shitting all over his legacy. It's like, do you really think that they thought this is going to be his last game?
Right.
They thought, they had any idea he was going to pass away. And then people are like, Kevin Conroy just took a paycheck. So I had to go, do you guys even know Kevin Conroy? That man had such a reverence for the character, the way he talked about him. He would not sign on to a game if he didn't feel it was treated properly. He's never done a half-assed cash for a paycheck. The guy loved the script probably and read it. Like, they didn't know he was going to die.
Right.
Like, but this is the game. You're killing the Suicide Squad. You're killing the Justice League. And everyone's upset about it. It's unreal to me.
Okay.
Unreal. Like, it's disgusting the way they turned on the Spider-Man game. They love that first one. The second one, because Venom wasn't Eddie Brock, they turned on the company. And now this one, they're saying, don't buy it, don't play it, this and that. It's
exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Really. That's why I don't get into any of this stuff.
And exhausting.
I don't get into any of it. It's like because because what they're complaining about today is not what they'll be complaining about tomorrow.
Exactly.
Like, something new. So.
And I get it if you complain that the game, because it's a live service game and there was talk about a battle pass and the pay to play. I get that. Because the other games weren't that. But also the games have shifted. The last game in the Arkham series was 2015. It's almost 10 years ago.
Right.
And Fortnite and all that crap, that's what games and makes money now. And it's a company and they're gonna change, but the company is still itself. The way that they treated the characters in those games is still the way you're gonna treat the characters in this game. Right. And it's a reverence for those characters. Why would they suddenly go, who gives a crap? We're just gonna do whatever we want with these characters. It's like,
right. Well, what do you
have a little faith and have a little goodwill that company has earned.
What do you think, Steph?
I really have no skin in this game, pun intended. But I think that that's cool.
Yeah.
If they do have lines that actually serve the character, sure. But they're not going to please everybody.
Well, I think, and overall for Kevin Conroy, I like, and I think what it will do with what Mike was talking about, I think that it's not his last performance. It's not his last thing he's going to do as Batman. So they're going to be able to use more lines and stuff that he did. So, but there's also that possibility, very real possibility, that the fans won't like that either.
Right.
So it's just a matter of you just do what you have. You got these performances that he left, and they're always brilliant.
Yeah.
So you do what you're going to do, and you put it out there. But it's good to see that the very least is you still get to hear the guy voice Batman again for at least 2 or 3 other projects. So
Right.
it's
Oh,
great.
man, I just
Yeah, I know. I get it. All right, let's talk about this because this was announced. Oh, no, the trailer came out. Did you guys watch the trailer yet? All right, so the trailer for Bad Batch comes out. People are losing their minds during this thing and telling me, oh, you got to react to it. You got to react to it. You got to react. You got to check it out. Now, I start by saying this. Remember, first Bad Batch that we saw, we actually started Sith Council on the other channel that we had by
Right.
doing reactions and reviews to
Bad Batch. Yeah.
And so when we thought the first season was fine, the second season, I think, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I believe from what I remember is that we all felt the same way, that there were a couple filler episodes here and there, but once they got into the core of what the story about, it was pretty great. But we were all like, okay, well, what's the next animated series? We like Tales from the Jedi. Then there was rumors that they're going to do Tales from the Sith and all these other things. Like, great, let's keep going down there. But I know they have to wrap up Bad Batch, and I get it because they leave the story open. So they put the trailer out. I was like, okay, it looks like they're going to continue on. It looks fine. It looks like the same thing that we've seen, but they're going to close certain storylines up. Fantastic. And then Asajj Ventress pops up. So that's one of those things where like everybody's losing their minds, and it's a great trailer because Asajj Ventress is in there. My first thought was, well, I guess they don't really care about canon at all because in the book she's dead.
Right.
She dies in the book, and that was based off of a Clone Wars script that I think George Lucas's daughter wrote. So I was like, okay, so Filoni really doesn't care. And then there was like a release that they said they are going to pay respect to the book, and they'll probably explain how she's not dead. And so everyone's like, oh, see, but they're not negating it. They're paying fine, but everybody lives again. Nobody dies. Nobody dies. Reva gets stabbed. She's fine. Darth Maul gets cut in half. He's okay. Everybody's okay. Nobody dies. And it's like Palpatine, somehow he returned. It's all these. It just takes away, and I understand why they did it, because Asajj Ventress is beloved by the people who watch Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They love her, and she was a great character.
Yes.
And Filoni does have the philosophy. I don't care what you guys think. He doesn't really pay that much attention to the books. He told me as much on an interview, not those words, but he was just like, there's just so much going on. You can tell, to me, that meant I pay attention to animated, I pay attention to live action. So when the book itself comes out, they find a way to maneuver because they figure nobody really is, like a small sect of people read that, and they're the ones who are going to be upset about it, and no one else will, and they're 100% right.
Yeah.
But it didn't make me love the trailer. I said the trailer was fine, and I'm not excited that Asajj's back because I thought her ending was really poetic. I thought it was fantastic, but they're gonna explain it. I don't care, and it'll probably and maybe I changed my tune, but I don't care. How do you feel?
Yeah, I don't care. I loved her in the Clone Wars, but it's not like we didn't get enough of her.
Right.
It's many seasons.
Did you read the book?
Yeah, I actually did.
Okay.
So then her body was dropped off. Like she was dead.
Right. She was dead. She was dead.
So even if they explain it, that's better than nothing. But to me, it just is weird because it's an entire galaxy. We don't have other characters.
Yeah, because there were other people that were trying to say, well, the timeline it could still happen. No, Dooku's alive.
Right.
During that book. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But you're coming from a different side here. You saw this. Did you see the trailer yet?
Yeah.
And what did you think of the trailer overall?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Right. And did you even know who that was? When
Yeah,
she popped?
I knew,
Oh,
of course, who she is.
Okay.
I know
I like
she's
her
a
hair.
massive character.
Right.
And the popularity of her. But I'm like, if it's dead, it's dead. Like that was the same reaction I got when Maul showed up in Solo. Because I didn't watch any stuff where he got
Right.
revived, but and I know everyone loves him now, and he had this and that. I was like, he died. It was awesome when he died.
Yeah.
You mean someone went down to the bottom of that pit, that 200, 300 thing, and they found his body? Okay. But like, dead is dead. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Just let the characters, and then create new characters.
That was kind of it. I don't know why. I guess that's I think that's a great point. I have to see the show, but I don't understand why you need Asajj Ventress, except for the fact of Filoni going, "Oh, she's a great character. We'll bring her back." That's the only reason why does she need to be like Quinlan Vos? Quinlan Vos, to me, he's mentioned in Obi-Wan. They're never going to wind up bringing that back. But Yeah, I don't know. I'll see how it pans out. It comes out. What's it? Is it this month? Yeah. So the premiere date of that is February 21st, and that's right. That's right around the corner.
Right. It's a big month for TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is coming out?
Avatar.
Oh, right,
The
for
Last
Netflix, right?
Airbender,
And you got
yeah.
Masters of the Air on the air right now.
Yes. I haven't seen it yet.
I started watching the first one, really liked it, but I'm watching True Detective right now.
Okay, how is this?
It's really good.
Do you need to have watched the prior seasons?
No.
Okay, I just finished Foundation, which is an Apple TV show.
Okay.
Star Warsy. There's
Is it?
moments.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. It's good. There are
Okay.
some things where I'm like, it's not perfect, but it's good.
So Bad Batch.
And then that Shogun show. Did you see the
I
trailer?
haven't seen the trailer yet. I know. I'm sorry. You told me to watch it last week, and I didn't do it.
So that show's coming out the end of February too.
Okay.
So
I have
it's
to
going to
watch
be a
that.
great month for TV.
So I think that's everything. Let me see if there's anything else. All right, let's end with this. I mentioned Argyle. Well, Matthew Vaughn is out there giving interviews, and so he talked about Deadpool 3. With Argyle opening this Friday in cinemas, filmmaker Matthew Vaughn is out there talking up his spy thriller comedy, but he commented on another film entirely, specifically Deadpool 3. Vaughn hasn't done a film for the MCU, but has had Marvel experience. X-Men First Class in 2011, which he ushered in 4 young X-Men films in total. Thus, he has some level of pull at Marvel, and while appearing on a recent episode of Pro Bible Post Cred podcast, he says he has some inside knowledge about Deadpool 3 that's enough to get him excited. In fact, he goes so far as to say the film could save the MCU. The few snippets that I know about Deadpool versus Wolverine or Wolverine versus Deadpool, I'm sure that argument between Ryan and Hugh is happening as we speak. It's unbelievable. That's going to be the jolt that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to have a jolt, and it's going to bring back that body back to life. I think Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are about to save the whole Marvel Universe. He hopes this will allow for exciting new X-Men tales within the MCU. I'm a genuine fan of the X-Men, and all I want is for the movies to be as good as they should be. It marks a major change from Vaughn's other comments recently on the greater trend of superhero fatigue, suggesting maybe we need a bit of time away from it. The third Deadpool film is in July. All right, Steph. So you hear this. Well, I think we've talked about it on this show. We've definitely talked about it on this channel for sure. Deadpool needs to be the savior of the MCU. It needs to be that jolt. It needs to be the one go, okay, all that other stuff that wasn't working, this is a new kind of phase, and we're turning it upside down on its head. Do these comments inspire? Do these comments of course he's going to say that. How do you feel when you hear these comments?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I think anyone who's a fan of the mutants and the X-Men storylines in general are like, why aren't you guys doing more this again and in a better version now that you guys kind of know what you're doing? And so this is the perfect movie to introduce it. And I know that some people were like, why are we... People love Hugh Jackman, but they're a little bit like, why are we bringing him back after Logan?
But that's so minimum.
Yeah. To me, I'm like, whatever.
Right.
I'm excited. So it's good to hear it. Those are big compliments, obviously. But I wouldn't... I don't know. To me, it's like there's a really low chance that this movie isn't great.
It's gonna be one of the biggest movies of the year. As I had said, I think that the movies right now that can make $1 billion are this, Despicable Me. These are just contenders, not necessarily they will. They just have contenders.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda, Despicable Me,
Yep.
Inside Out 2, and Wicked. Those are the ones that are contenders.
You don't think Dune or Furiosa?
No way. $1 billion? No chance. Definitely not Furiosa, but which I'm excited for, but not. It's not $1 billion movie. And then Dune, it will get 5 to 6, I think. But either way, this one will. But Mike, you look pensive.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I'm not really excited for this movie.
No, how come?
One, I thought Logan is the perfect ending for Hugh Jackman's career as.
Oh, you're sick of the multiverse stuff too.
To me, when Marvel finally, and again, this seems Marvel MCU adjacent. We haven't seen any actors that are from the MCU going to be in this one. I was excited for the Fantastic Four to join the MCU, and I'm excited for the X-Men. But Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and now Kelsey Grammer. So what are we just going to get the X-Men with a fresh coat of paint? And it's going to be the same old thing with a fresh coat of paint? Like, I want all new actors.
I think you're going to.
I think this movie is going to be we're going to go through every Fox film in the 2000s and we're going to make fun of it and we're going to kill people in it. And all those movies that us in the 2000s that grew up with these superhero movies and loved them, you're just suddenly going to turn on them. Yeah, that movie was shit. Oh, yeah, Daredevil sucked. Because, like, it's just going to shit on what came before it. And the fact that what came before it built what we are now. Like, and we enjoyed those movies in the 2000s, and they were a different time period than what it is now. So if it's just going to be him going from movie to movie, collecting heroes, killing heroes, and at the end's going to be a portal into the MCU, and they're like, who are you? It's like, don't worry, I took care of that. So here we all are together now. I'm like, the first Deadpool is one of my favorite film-going experiences of all time. It was awesome in that audience. 2 was, I saw it once and
Didn't love it.
I didn't see it again. And now when I watch the first Deadpool, because all the jokes and everything, I'm like, it doesn't play for me.
The first one doesn't.
Doesn't play.
Okay.
Because it was such an experience. Is it cool to see Hugh Jackman in a yellow outfit? Cool. Like, and they'll probably do something where they shrink him down and use tricks to make him appear like Wolverine is in the comics, where he's 5 feet tall, and we're all gonna love that, and everyone's gonna go nuts for that. And it's just like, I'm sorry, like Peter, when Patrick Stewart had his final thing in Logan, that was heartbreaking and awesome. And then to show him in that giant chair, and everyone loses their fucking mind for it. I grew up on
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And then everyone loses their mind.
Right.
And Kelsey Grammer, the CGI, like, and he looked cool.
But even Patrick Stewart was not happy with that.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
And then Mangold has walked back on his words of going. First he's like, yeah, let him use it again. Now he's like, well, it kind of goes like,
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
not recently. No, recently he said it doesn't. It's completely different.
right.
That's not.
But it just doesn't, like, I'm kind of like eventually when Tom Cruise bites the bullet as Ethan Hunt, I want him to stay dead.
Yeah, well, that goes back to the Asajj Ventriss conversation we just had. I mean, look, that it is the bigger problem with the multiverse in general, is that they could, because even
It's not the one from Logan,
right? So, but anyway, I disagree with you though. I think the movie is going to be. I think they're going to do it in a way where it's not just, oh, look at that, because I thought the stuff in multiverse was done terribly. I just think it was done terribly. I think it was just kind of thrown in there.
That movie wasn't good.
No, so I do feel this movie is going to be huge. I do agree with Vaughn that if they do it right, it could save the MCU. But they've got to be able to continue it on.
Like,
yeah, they got to be, because they got to it's essentially a reset, and it's gonna do what you want them to do. It's gonna introduce whoever the new X-Men are. It's gonna introduce them into the world, I think. So, what do you guys say? What do you think? Go ahead and comment. Tell us exactly your thoughts on all this stuff. The Deadpool stuff. Could it save the MCU? All that and more. I'd like to thank my panel here today, starting with Steph Sabra. Steph, where can I find you?
At Steph Sabra and the World Girls.
That's today, right?
Yes.
Check that out on Roxy's channel. Roxy's channel?
No,
the World
it's
Girls
on our channel.
Oh, it's on the World Girls channel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
She's like,
been
no,
like
no,
2
no,
years.
I know. Sometimes I forget. Okay,
Wow.
go ahead.
what do you want me to go ahead for? Mike Kalinowski, at Mike Kalinowski.
Good plug.
Yeah,
Magic
shut
Spoon.
your mouth. I don't have a World Girls.
Magic Spoon.
Magic Spoon and Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Hook that shit up. Come on, dude.
Before you go.
Next week, I'll come back with the.
With the
Oh
review.
my God.
Yeah,
All right.
come
I don't know
on.
if they're on the show next week. But
Shannon's been gone for a week and a half too.
so-
I'll go nuts.
Okay.
Go ham on her.
All right, listen. So once again,
I'll come into the bedroom.
all of our sponsors, thank you today. You can get all of our sponsors today first. It's pinned in the description. I always put it as the first comment. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. See you next time. And get yourself the Capes and Cows comic.
Oh, yeah.
All right, bye.